I've observed that Occupy wants more democracy than we have and less social inequality. That they've been protesting a government that's put control of our country into the hands of 1% who run it for their own interests while running roughshod over the public interest. Okay. They've shown us a government willing to use police state tactics. I mean, when we heard the news this year about evicting the Occupy protesters, it was hard to tell what was coming from the Middle East and what was coming from the United States, because our government showed that they have no compunction using the very same police state tactics. They're now coming home from those imperial wars and being asked to get retrained in population control under the name of counterinsurgency training, to use what they learned abroad here at home. And these are the same soldiers who have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution. Their oath is not to uphold a government. Their oath is to the Constitution. And so I see what Occupy has done as standing firmly on the Constitution, is that we have a government that's sold out to the 1% and don't serve us, thereby defines themselves as a movement. They define themselves as a leaderless movement that will establish a space where democratic conversation can take place. They've established processes that will do that, and it's just a failure of the Democrats and Republicans in Congress to represent the views of the majority of the people. I think that pretty much lays it out, that we don't have a democracy anymore, and both parties are complicit in it. And if they're going to focus on the Supreme Court for allowing the Constitution to be perverted and for ignoring the rule of law. Roberts Court, these guys, represent a complete triumph of plutocracy over democracy. Particularly with that case this year, the Arizona case, they indicate that anything we try to do to remedy the situation in sort of an incremental way, that if it is effective, they're going to strike it down. So the current economic structure of the country is out of balance and favors a very small proportion of the rich over the rest of the country. America needs to reduce the power of major banks and corporations and demand greater accountability and transparency. The government should not provide financial aid to corporations and should not provide tax breaks to the rich. So 60% strongly agree, 16% mildly agree, 76%. That should be enough pretty much to pass the policy, wouldn't you think? Well, not in this country, because we don't have a democracy. You put some money in the pocket of a politician, they'll vote for a law that exempts you from this much taxes. That's a good deal. So what is the rate of return? What's the cut the politicians get out of that? And what they showed is it's a 22,000% return on your investment. $220 saved or spent by the U.S. government in return for $1 in the pocket of a politician. So, and that figure, now that's a rigorous academic study. Okay, so I like to quote that one. But I myself have done a rule of thumb on what do defense contractors spend and what are their profits 400 times on that one. Just sort of very simple, back of the envelope. And other people have done these calculations on different issues, and it goes up to upward of 1,000 times. $1,000 back for $1 in lobbying and campaign contributions. So that's the return on investment they get. Money buys public policy, starting in the 70s. Most of these books pin it down that started in the 70s. That public policy in return generates vast income for the people who buy it. They get extraordinarily rich, while the rest of us get poorer because they're taking it from public funds and public goods of different kinds, whether it's the environment or what it may be. That the inequality causes lack of growth, a stagnant economy, which means a stagnant economy doesn't have enough employment for everybody who needs it, because the money that goes out of the pockets of the majority, like we saw in that previous bar graph, doesn't get spent. When it's in the pockets of average people, it's pretty much gets spent. And so that creates demand. But what happens with the money now, and that's where we're living in that world today, is it goes into speculation, and you get asset bubbles and different bubbles as they speculate on different, now it's commodities or it's gold and oil and so forth today. But these are all just bubbles. This is where the money goes. That doesn't create any growth, or very, very little.